All right, good morning, guys. Accidentally skipped a week. I truthfully totally forgot to record. Um, Trying to just find time to record isn't the best sometimes. I did end up going to that Bears game and I had a crazy weekend, wasting my damn money, but that's all right. Um, we did cash though last week and, knock on wood, not just NFL. But Funk has been cooking up a little bit, and we haven't been looking too shabby. It's not like we're winning like thousands every night, but we're cashing and we're slowly building up our bankroll, getting ready for college football tomorrow. I think we're playing NHL tonight. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Sunday slate. So, any takeaways from last week?
Uh, I mean, I really wanted to get to Cup, and I just couldn't make it work. And then I played Bijan for the 100th time, and he just gets you a four game. So it was okay. I think that's all I really remember from that slate. But this slate is even worse. This might be the worst main slate I've seen in a long time. All the 1 p.m. totals are like 38 or 40. So it's going to be like a late game stacks, it looks like.
Yep. Let's just jump into it. So right now, top stack tool on Stochastic, Kansas City, Tampa, Baltimore, Rams, Buffalo, Seattle, Pittsburgh, Green Bay, Denver. That's pretty much it. And you see like the scores over here. So basically anything Seattle above is where you should prioritize. And then maybe definitely not the Giants, but maybe just a little over here, get some pieces. But what's standing out to you right now?
Yeah, I think once we dive more into the positions, it'll be easier to talk about. But I do think it's just so hard to fit Casey. I mean, that game is probably the nuts, but you got Max Price, Mahomes, Kelsey at almost 9K. I mean, you need him to get you like 20 plus, which is, I mean, last week he had 16 and he had 9 for 124. So, I mean, I guess if he falls in the end zone, he gets there, but I mean, he has had the targets as well. I mean, he gives you a nice floor. Other than that, like picking a quarterback is actually disgusting. How much I can't vouch for Herbert this week. Casey's defense has looked pretty great. He's going on the road, and you'd have to pair him with Allen, who's like over 9K. No thanks. Josh Allen, sure, not the best game environment as far as total goes, but I mean, him and Diggs have had pretty solid outings against New England in the past, so I wouldn't mind them. Lamar's a pretty nice price tag at 8K. One of the more fair over unders of the 1 p.m. games. I think I saw 43 last, so I don't mind him and Andrews or Flowers. Like pretty good price tags on them. You can run it back with a skill position player on the Lions. Pretty good run backs there with Amon Ra or Gibbs or whoever. But that's probably where I'm prioritizing. And then some of the stinky QBs you can throw in there. Gino, Stafford, 6,700 is fine. I mean, if he just has 1 3 touchdown game, he's 3Xing. Uh, and then maybe Love, but he's kind of priced up on FanDuel.
I was just gonna say, before we started recording, the one in me being a Bears fan, I absolutely despise Jordan Love. But the thing that I like about that play is just he's playing Denver. Besides the game against the Bears, where he just shit pumped the entire organization, he hasn't looked great. He just looks pretty average. But um, let's just jump to QBs. I knew you were talking about them a little bit, but let me just show the prices and stuff here. If I can actually find the right button. So this is what it's got priced right now. We got 9,200 Mahomes, 9K Allen Herbert. The GOAT is out. Lamar, Love, Goff. I would love Watson if we actually knew he was playing. I did see he was limited in practice. I thought I saw something that surgery is an option or something. or it was something that this could be a few week ordeal. I don't think anyone is going to play Russell Wilson. Gino doesn't look terrible. Stafford at 67 looks decent. I even think Baker looks decent. But what's your 2 cents on this?
Yeah, I mean, if you pair Mahomes with Kelsey, it's just like it's leaving you so strapped. And I don't even know where you would go after that, to be honest. It's real tough. I would have to fiddle with the whole build, but again, like I probably prioritize Lamar the most, then maybe Gino if I'm not playing Walker, Stafford. Oh, it's so gross. I mean, that's probably it, to be honest. For single entry, like those are just my priorities right now. And then maybe like Allen Diggs.
I will say Lamar doesn't look too bad. I think you even said he's a little underpriced. Detroit is obviously Detroit. They're what, 5-1. They're actually a solid team. I don't mind Jared Goff on the other side. Those are some other options, but I mean, if you can get to 6,700 Stafford pair with Cup or something, or maybe just go Baker or something, can get better receivers and better running backs at that price. All right, let's move on to running backs. So, what is going on here? There we go. Eckler, Walker, Kyron Williams is out. Saquon questionable. I think he's going to play. Josh Jacobs. Montgomery won't play. Aaron Jones is questionable. He's been practicing, so I'm on the side of he's going to play, maybe be on a snap count. Who knows? Bijan, Pacheco, Robinson, Cook, Moss, Ford. That's pretty much all worthy of talking about. That's about it. But who's standing out right now?
Yeah, just keep the pull up and I'll run through it.
Oh,
So
okay.
Eckler he's an interesting play if you're gonna game stack the game. Like if you run Mahomes and maybe like a dart throw like on Rice or something and you paid up for Eckler instead of paying up for Kelsey, I wouldn't mind that. Walker, great spot, just not a great price tag. Like 9K is so steep. He is a bell cow. He's gonna give you like 17, 20 touches, which is nice. Great floor there, but you're basically paying for his ceiling already. Barkley, again, I think I'd rather just play someone else in the same price range. Jacobs is a pretty good play, I think, at 8K. I think they'll probably lean on him a bit, considering Jimmy G is out. 25 carries last week, 20 carries a week before that. I think he's just getting at the bell cow work that Walker might get, but for 1,000 cheaper and against probably, you know, just the same level of crap defense. Monty's likely out, I would assume, didn't practice. If Gibbs is in, he's a good play. Jones is a good play if he's in. I think Green Bay as a whole is a better play if Aaron Jones is in. So I would like that offense more. Bijan, I'm just not there anymore. I've just been riding him since week one. I'm not there anymore since Algiers continuing to get like 10 to 12 touches a game. If he was like just a little bit cheaper, I would go there. Pacheco's a pretty good play, I think, if you're not playing Mahomes. They've been leaning on him more and more each week. Brian Robinson, I just never play. I don't know why. I don't have anything against him, but I just never play him. So I'll probably won't this week in a low total game. Cook, I don't know what to make of Cook, honestly. I feel like he should be a little bit cheaper, but he does give you a nice floor, probably 13 to 18 touch area if he gets the receptions as well. So he's okay. I think Ford is a pretty good play if Hunt's out. I think they can lean on him a bit, and he'll probably be pretty low owned. Keep scrolling up. I think I really like anyone else. Gibbs, like we said, if Monty's out and he's a full go, that'd be great. When will Denver just realize they need to give Javante more touches? Never. If he did, I would like him, but
I
Just
think there was one fantasy football year that he was like a top 10 pick. I draft him, torn ACL after like 3 weeks. I feel bad for the kid, but damn.
he's just not getting the work. Keep scrolling. Yeah, there's really not much else past that. And if Craig Reynolds is out too, Gibbs just becomes a better play. I think if both those injury news comes out, like 24 hours before the slate, Gibbs probably gets some steam, which will be annoying. But I don't know if I can fade him after playing him all these weeks and then have him just crush me if I don't play him. So I'll probably be on Gibbs if he's in.
Yeah, basically lock in Josh Jacobs. He's playing against one of the worst defenses. Robinson, sure. Cook, sure. It's kind of a weird running back slate. I guess kind of keep an eye out for Kareem Hunt because I think that the Browns have even said that Ford is their running back going forward, but Hunt obviously has a little more experience, so they'll mix him in here and there. I already saw that Montgomery is out, but FanDuel just hasn't updated it yet, so Gibbs is going to be probably the main back. I don't mind White that much. I don't know what it is about Tampa. I like Tampa this week. I can't even give you a reason why.
White
I
just
mean,
seems never. I mean, he gets the work. He just never does anything with it. He just 3 yards a carry.
and it doesn't help that like my Twitter stuff is all like fantasy football now, and everyone's saying buy low on Rashad White. It's like, yeah, I want this guy to get 20 touches with 30 yards and then like five receiving yards every game.
Yeah,
Thanks. You know what I mean? Kenneth Walker, kind of like you said earlier, like paying 9K for him and just hoping that he gets like two touchdowns or runs for like 200 yards or some crap, where you can just go to Jacobs, who has like I mean, they both have pretty easy matchups, but Jacobs hasn't looked good all year. But I mean, if he's proving himself for a contract, this is definitely the game for him to do it. But
I
I
just
would
think they're the
maybe
same play for 1,000 cheaper. The only thing you could really
pretty much,
argue
yeah.
for Walker is that it's like a whole touchdown more for the over under. So Seattle is projected to score more. So you're
Yeah.
project Kenneth for more touchdown equity, but I just think Jacobs is just better. But I mean, the Raiders' offense could be very stale this weekend, so maybe they don't even get it in the red zone.
The Bears are allergic to the red zone, so it's all right. All right. Wide receivers, Mr. Cooper Cup, Keenan Allen, Diggs, St. Brown, Adams, Metcalf. I think he's gonna play. It's the questionable. It's like the LeBron questionable tag. LeBron's always injured or he's got like a minor injury. He's like, oh, I'm playing. He's gonna show out. Idiot. Evans, Moore, Myers, Puka. What's standing out right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think Cup is probably the priority pay up option. It doesn't really take a genius to say that, but I mean, you are paying a premium, almost 10K. You need him to score like 25 minimum for tournaments at least. It's just tough. I mean, I can't pay 9K for Keenan. No freaking chance. I don't even play him at 8K. I need him to be more like that 7,400 range, like he's used to for that floor. Diggs, like I said, if you're playing Allen, just play Diggs and roll with it. Diggs is a fine play. Amon Ra's a good run back if you're prioritizing the Ravens, I think. Unless you're going to play Gibbs, then just pick one or the other. Do you think one Lion probably gets there? Adams, not with the backup quarterback. No thanks. Metcalf. If you're playing Gino, he's probably. I don't know. I feel like in the history, like Lockett is towards the Cardinals. Maybe I'm pretty sure he had that 3 touchdown, like 150-yard game. It's just stuck in my head against the Cardinals from like 3 years ago. But it's just some bias there. I don't really know. I guess Metcalf is okay, but 7,700 for like his 8 targets. I think I'd just rather play someone else. Evans, boomer bust guy. He's going to get you 102 tuds or 3 fantasy points. So he's a tournament consideration. Moore, backup quarterback, no thanks. Myers, backup quarterback, no thanks. Puka, just price hasn't really adjusted that well yet. I feel like he should be like mid sixes. Terry, it is that offense is just so bad. He can get open by himself and do the work, but not there for me. Pickens is a nice play, I think. If you need a run back for the Rams stack, you're playing like Stafford Cup. I also think Freiermuth is a good running back as well from that game. Pittman, no thanks. Cleveland has strapped receivers like all year. London's high price tag for run first offense. Cooper, backup quarterback, likely no thanks. Lockett, same thing as Metcalf, just start throw, pick whoever's going to score 2 tuds from that game. It's either Walker, Metcalf, or Lockett. Do you just pray? Gabe Davis. I mean, if you can't afford Diggs with like an Allen stack, Davis, you just hope falls in the end zone on like a 30-yard play. Sure. Brown's a good play, I think. Watson, probably going to be like a flag plant tournament play for me. The usage in route share has just gone up and up since he's come back. He's just a wide receiver one there. I could see them, doing some damage against Denver, especially if Aaron Jones is back. I feel like that offense just flows much better. So I like Watson there. Probably my favorite, like mid 6K guy. And then Flowers at 63 is probably my cutoff there. No one really below that, I don't think.
Yeah, I was just scrolling through to see. There
I mean,
really isn't much else.
Bourne's got the target share, but no thanks. I mean, it's just gross.
It's Mac Jones. Then again, I don't have any room to talk about quarterbacks.
Yeah.
There really isn't much else besides what you said. The one thing about Adams is there was a report that came out on Monday or maybe Tuesday about how he's been frustrated with his role. This could just be, and the thing is I don't know if they're starting Brian Hoyer or Aiden O'Connell just yet. Because if it's Hoyer, he's been in the league for like 15 years and he's played on like 13 teams. I actually played for the Bears, but I think that if Hoyer is in, he's not gonna put up, 300 passing yards with 5 TDs, but he'll air the ball out a little bit, whereas O'Connell will play a little more conservative, maybe, but seems like Jimmy G like loves Jacoby Myers more, which is actually kind of nuts. Either one of them, I would say if Hoyer starts, I wouldn't mind these pieces. I wouldn't make them a priority. Yeah, Pittman has been getting a lot of targets and actually producing, but playing against Cleveland doesn't look good for him. London doesn't look bad. Cooper doesn't look bad. Marquise Brown, the GOAT, probably got to lock him in. That dude's a reception machine. And I think Justin Fields just screwed us on our season long if he's hurt. I think there's like a reboot thing though, so we might get away with it. So tight ends, you always say they're kind of just flyers, but I mean Kelsey Andrews, Laporta, Waller, Kmet, Pitts. I mean, if you had to pick one, obviously you can only pick one besides like Kelsey or Andrews, because I think a lot of people are going to play them. Who's your pick?
Yeah, honestly, with the way the other positions are filling out, I do think Andrews is probably a priority, especially if I'm playing Lamar. I'm just automatically going to pair him. Waller, I mean, what was that play call on the last play of the game? That was terrible. I don't want to speak about it, but he's got some nice target share there. I mean, I like Waller. Komet, no thanks. Pitts, I mean, he's been producing, which means if I play him this week, he's not going to do anything, so I'm just not going to play him. That's my take. Freiermuth actually just got a report saying he's expected to miss this week's game, so didn't see that. So I don't know what to make of that. And the whole Pittsburgh offense now, honestly, I have to see what happens there. Jonas Smith, same thing with Pitts. Like I don't. I don't understand what Atlanta's doing. It's kind of working, but like kind of not. I don't know. Logan Thomas, I feel like he just gets like a crippling injury like every week. Like he gets just absolutely lit up. It's crazy. I don't know how he still has like any brain cells left. Uh, Gerald Everett just doesn't get enough run for me. Musgrove is like, I think he's an okay pairing for Love. And Joku could be like a little safety net there if the backup Cleveland quarterback's playing. Mayer's got an uptick in routes, I believe, the last couple weeks. He's okay punt option there. And then Allen and Knox is probably due for like a 2 touchdown game any moment now. So it's probably where I cut off the tight ends.
Yeah, there isn't much. I mean, you can either go to Kelsey or Andrews, or then maybe just go somewhat cheaper. The thing with Logan Thomas, I mean, just against the Bears on that Thursday night game, he was getting the ball like crazy, but he's just good. He's a good cheap option against the Giants.
I wonder if
Everett,
Fryer moves. You think it's gonna be that Washington kid who's like 6'8" from Georgia?
probably. That's annoying because I have him on in my fantasy team, the one that I'm actually 5-1 in. Higby, he's actually looked decent, so I mean, I wouldn't mind him at 5K as well. I would either try to see if you can get Andrews or Kelsey. If you can't, I don't know what's up with Laporta. Maybe he plays. I don't know. Maybe then look at maybe Pitts, Thomas, Everett, Higby. You've even said it in the past too. Tight end is kind of like a flyer. It's kind of like either you pay less for a running back or a receiver and then pay up for like Kelsey or something, or your wide receivers, your running backs, you pay up for, get a cheap tight end, and then your flex can be someone better. So,
Yeah, and tight end, you're really just hoping they fall in the end zone. That's the end game.
exactly. Yeah.
And especially in that 5K range, like you really need them to have like 4 receptions, 50 yards, and a tud, and they'll get you there at 5K. But I can't. I don't think I could prioritize Higby that you mentioned just because Cup's back. He's more of a good like when he was
That is
racing,
true.
Cup was out. So probably, but that's all.
So I know we don't talk about defenses that much, but tell everyone what you were saying earlier, because that actually is a smart idea, what you were saying.
It could be a terrible idea, but I think the pay down defenses actually look really good this week. Um, the Giant, and there's so many low total games that you can just pick any of these guys and hope there's just a shit ton of turnovers. The Giants get the Washington defense, 37 total. Broncos D against Jordan Love, who's looked pretty hit or miss, could be in play. The Bears, who play backup quarterback in a 37 total, could be in play. The Colts, if Deshaun's out, could be in play. Packers against Denver's offense, who's been terrible, they're in play. Like I just like most of these mid threes, the low fours defenses rather than paying up. Which there are some good pay up options. Like you can play the Bills or you can play the Seahawks, who have looked surprisingly good on defense. Uh, but I
And
think defense is always just a flyer thing, like tight ends for me as well. It's all luck in terms of if your team gets a fumble recovery, do they take it to the end zone or not? And I think there's a lot of turnover spots here. So
did not mean to click that. Yeah, and kind of like you said, there's flyers, and plus, like if we play 3,400 Giants, you just hope that they're okay enough, and then you can just pay up for running backs, receivers, quarterback, whatever. Kind of like tight end almost.
yeah, like last
Um,
crippling. I do remember this. Bears D 3,200, 25% owned. Like, are you shitting me? Like they dropped like 12 too. I was so pissed. That was the one week I paid up for defense, and they did nothing. So it really is
um,
a turn of the tide luck thing. But whoever is chalk down here, I will not be playing. Like the Giants get steamed because it's a low total and it's a shit game, then I'm probably not going to play. But If they're like 5%, I'll play the Giants.
That should just about do it, though. Is there anything else you want to recap?